Hello and welcome to the 9 News Business Buzz. I'm Ryan Frazier, 9 News business expert. For decades, the business world was cleanly divided into two buckets. You were either a for-profit company maximizing shareholder returns or a nonprofit relying on donations. But that line is rapidly disappearing. Today, 88% of U.S. consumers actively purchase from brands that align with their values, and 71% are willing to spend a premium to make it happen. Enter the social enterprise, a business model engineered to generate revenue and solve social problems simultaneously. Charlene Emory-Proctor is the Colorado Market Manager for Sea Change, an organization accelerating these purpose-driven startups right here in our state. Charlene, welcome on the program.
Thanks for having me, Ryan.
It's good to have you. I'm looking forward to this conversation. Not a lot of people understand or know what social entrepreneurship is. So let's start with that baseline definition. Social entrepreneurship is a term that sometimes gets thrown around a lot. How exactly does a social enterprise operate differently from a traditional LLC or standard 501c nonprofit?
So social enterprise isn't a legal designation. So any business, regardless of how it's formed, can operate as a social enterprise. A 501c3, an LLC, they can all function and operate as a social enterprise. There are kind of four business models for a social enterprise. You have the buy one, give one model where an organization might donate an item for every item purchased. You have the workforce development model where businesses are providing folks with barriers to employment with opportunities for jobs and on-the-job training. There's profit sharing, where businesses will donate X% of their profits to an organization or cause. And then you have the classic fee for product or service.
Now, the data shows that 86% of consumers trust purpose-driven brands more, and 90% of younger folks in the workforce demand it. From an investor or founder's perspective, is having a social mission no longer just a nice to have? Is it actually becoming more of a competitive financial advantage in the marketplace?
Absolutely. That is what the data and trends are showing us. So 80% of Gen Z entrepreneurs define their business as purpose-driven. And by the end of the 2030s, Gen Z will be the majority in the workforce. So we're seeing the trends in entrepreneurship leaning towards social enterprise. As you mentioned before, consumers are willing to pay more money if they know that money's going toward a social impact, and we're seeing the same in the investing space. So in 2024, impact investing was a $377 billion industry. By 2034, it's going to be over $1 trillion industry.
Wow. Now, the startup world is brutal. I should know. I work with some of those folks and larger companies as well, but the standard survival rate is around 33% for a traditional startup. But Sea Change's recent alumni survey shows that your graduates have a 65% operational success rate. Now, why are these purpose-driven companies surviving and scaling at nearly double the rate of traditional startups?
So Sea Change's Business Accelerator teaches the same business toolkit as any other accelerator. The difference in ours is we teach business through the lens of social impact. So it's incorporated into all of our programming, all of our curriculum. And as we discussed, all the trends and data are showing that social entrepreneurship eventually will not be a nice to have, it will be a must have. Another key component of our accelerator that we're really proud of is the social capital we provide these entrepreneurs. So we pair them with mentors, we give them access to financial advisors and other supporters throughout the state.
Yeah, you know, I'm fascinated, about social entrepreneurship and this intersection of being able to make a positive impact while also being able to turn a profit, right? And as an entrepreneur and a business owner myself, right, I like to think the work I do hopefully makes a positive impact while allowing me to run a profitable business, Charlene. And I think obviously that's a lot of what you guys are helping to incubate here in Colorado and around the country. And we're seeing this play out with local companies that as I said, you worked with. Walk us through some of the examples of these companies. And I'd like you to kind of end it with, when you look at the economic landscape right now, what makes Colorado fertile ground for these types of businesses?
Yeah, so a few examples of local businesses are in Fort Collins, there's an organization called Hola Impact. They pair Spanish learners with native Spanish speakers from underserved communities throughout Latin America. And they provide an opportunity for one-on-one virtual immersive conversations. They also partner with great organizations throughout Latin America. Right now, they're partnering with a nonprofit that employs women who are breast cancer survivors. There's an organization in Aurora called Change Please. They operate a cafe where they provide on-the-job training to folks who have barriers to employment. So for example, they may employ folks who are experiencing homelessness. So these folks get to learn how to make latte art, they learn customer service and interview skills. The buy one, give one model, you can think of Tom's or Warby Parker, who donate a pair of eyeglasses or pair of shoes for every item sold. And the last is profit sharing. There's an organization in Boulder called EcoCycle. They operate a zero waste recycling facility. And from their profits, they donate back into the community in the form of environmental education and advocacy. So Colorado has always been a great place for social entrepreneurs because people want to build their businesses here, but they care about environmental sustainability, they care about the outdoor lifestyle, and those personal values translate directly into business values and incorporating impact. So when we think of the economic and political landscape, there are a lot of issues that are at the forefront of our communities. Things like affordable housing, access to clean air. They're very visible in our communities, and it lends a really great opportunity for these social entrepreneurs to try to provide solutions firsthand.
I have to say, Charlene, really interesting to hear about what you all are doing and the different companies we have here in Colorado. It's pretty clear to me that, there is a lot of demand, and increasingly so, for these types of businesses. And so I want to continue to wish you all at Sea Change lots of luck. The market always follows consumer expectations and demands. And right now, the data is undeniable. Consumers are voting with their wallets. A 65% survival rate proves that doing impact, doing good, and turning a profit are not mutually exclusive. They are a highly viable business model. Charlene Emory-Proctor, thanks so much for joining us on the Business Buzz, and we value your insight.